definitely one of those people that has a crazy addictive personality. If I can quit drinking, anybody can. You just have to want it bad enough. I quit drinking 6 months ago, and my life did a complete 180. My mood improved, I saved a ton of money, my sleep improved, I was able to start waking up early in the morning again, and overall, I just feel much healthier and much happier. I had been trying to quit drinking for probably 4 or 5 years, and sometimes I would make it a week or maybe even an entire month, and then I would have a bad day at work or something would happen that stressed me out, and I would start drinking again, and I just kept repeating that cycle. So I'm going to share how I quit drinking. Hopefully it can help you if you're trying to quit as well. I've never been a heavy drinker. I don't drink large amounts, right? I just drink a lot. So what I mean by that is if you were to see me 6 months ago, I probably had a beer in my hand, unless I was at work. In fact, work is probably the only place you would see me without a drink in my hand. So when I got off work, I would drink a beer to help me relax, to help, get stress-free. I own a small business, and it can be stressful at times. If I went out for dinner with my wife, I would have a glass of wine. If I was hanging out with friends, maybe I would have a vodka tonic. Pretty much always had to have a drink in my hand, no matter what I was doing. I would never drink, 15 or 16 beers. It would always just be maybe 4 or 5, maybe a 6-pack. And I had a high tolerance, so I wouldn't get drunk very often. I'd get a decent buzz sometimes, but I really just drank every single day, and that was kind of my problem. And after a while, I just got tired of it, and I knew that it was time to quit. Once I made that decision, and I was serious about it, the first thing I did was to pick a date. The 4th of July was about 2 weeks away at the time, so I told myself that after the 4th of July, I'm done. No more drinking for good. Not for 90 days, not for 30 days, not for a year. I'm just quitting. I'm done. That's it. So for the 2 weeks leading up to the 4th of July, I pretty much brainwashed myself, and every day just mentally prepared myself for what life would be like without alcohol. I told myself we're going to start working out again. We're going to start, doing all of these things that I couldn't do while I was drinking. So I knew that I had to drink something that wasn't water, though, right? Kind of like that habit you have to, So after the 4th of July passed, for the next few weeks, I didn't drink any alcohol, but I would drink the non-alcoholic beers. Corona had a brand that I really liked, and Heineken had one that I really liked. And I would drink a couple of those after I got off work, and they helped me fight off the temptation to drink real beer. And I know that there is like a very small amount of alcohol in the non-alcoholic beers, but it was such a small amount, I think it was like under 1%, that I didn't feel like I was cheating, and it was definitely a lot better than drinking, real beer. I wasn't waking up with hangovers, I didn't feel groggy. So after a few weeks, though, of drinking the non-alcoholic beer, I switched from that to seltzer waters. I had a friend who recommended them, and I figured I would just give it a shot. It took me a couple days to acquire the taste. They're not for everybody, but once I did acquire the taste, it was easy to stop drinking the fake beer. And then not to mention that the fake beer was just expensive as real beer. So you'd go buy a 6-pack of fake Coronas and it was like $12, or $10, the same price as real beer. So after I got off the fake beer, I started drinking seltzer waters. The final thing that I did that allowed me to not go back to drinking or to quit for longer than I ever had before was to stay busy. So before, when I would quit drinking, after a couple weeks, I would get bored and I would find a reason to start again. I didn't really have a lot to do. But this time, my wife and I, we started going to the gym every day at 5 a.m. And then our son started boxing. So after school, we would take him to the boxing gym. We would watch him box. We did some hiking, we did some kayaking, and started doing more outdoor activities so we weren't just sitting around the house with nothing else to do. In my opinion, I think that was the most important step for me. Before, I might have been at home watching a movie, and then you get bored watching a movie and you want to have a drink or you find an excuse. So I think if you want to be successful at quitting something like alcohol, you have to take all of the time that you were investing in alcohol and then invest that time into something positive. right? Like when I started working out again, I felt really good. You get that, new workout energy, that pump, and you're like, wow, this feels really good. That helped me not go back to drinking. So after I quit drinking, my life definitely improved in a lot of ways. My mood improved dramatically. I haven't been as irritable. I'm usually very stressed after work. I own a small business. We have an office and a team of employees, and it's just a lot to balance. And so I used to be really stressed and really irritable, and I thought that drinking was relieving the stress. But looking back, I think now that drinking was actually making the stress even worse. I'm sleeping a lot better now. Part of that is, probably due to the fact that I wake up at 5 a.m. and I go to the gym, so I'm probably more tired at night. But I wouldn't be able to wake up at 5 a.m. if I was still drinking a six-pack every night. I've definitely saved quite a bit of money. My wife and I estimate that together we were spending probably $600 to $700 a month on wine and beer because she was drinking as well and she quit the same day that I did. But $600 to $700 a month that's a lot of money. That's a car payment or two car payments. So our savings have definitely improved. We have saved a lot more money this year than we did last year. And finally, I was able to quit vaping. So in fact, I'm going to make another video on that and link it in the description to this video if I get time. I couldn't quit vaping while I was still drinking because the two of them go hand in hand. So, if you quit vaping but you're still drinking beer, you get a little buzz and you immediately want to go vape. But actually quitting the vape was probably quite a bit more difficult than quitting alcohol. So I'm kind of excited to make that video of how I finally quit, vaping and threw all my vapes away. I'm definitely one of those people that has a crazy addictive personality. So I think that if I can quit drinking, anybody can. You just have to want it bad enough and, be willing to do whatever it takes. So that's my story. I'm actually going to release this video on January 4th of 2024, which will be the exact 6-month mark of no alcohol for me. And then maybe I will do another video on my 12-month mark. So if you liked this video, please subscribe. Please give it a thumbs up. I make videos on this channel about change, about self-improvement, about growth, things that I'm passionate about. I spent a very big part of my life in prison as a young man, and then I got out and I started a business. I changed my life. So if you are passionate about change, if you want to, make improvements to your life, and you're studying stuff like this, maybe my channel can help. Feel free to ask me anything you want in the comments. I'll do my best to reply with brutal honesty. Thank you and Happy New Year.